Hi, third grade. Okay, today we are on lesson 10.8, and that is called Estimate and Measure Mass. So before we get started, let's review what it means to estimate. When we estimate, we are making an educated guess. We're using what we know, and we're using the problems to not get an exact answer, but something pretty close. So we're not just guessing, we're making an educated guess. Okay. So these three words we're going to use a lot today. The first one is gram. Okay, the gram is the basic metric unit for measuring mass or the amount of matter in an object. So another way to think about this is when you go to the doctor and the doctor or nurse tells you to get on the scale and they want to see how much you weigh. Using pounds is one way to measure how much something weighs or how much of something there is. So maybe you were born, or I'm sorry, in third grade, maybe you weighed 60 pounds or 100 pounds or 80 pounds or 75 or 30, depending on your size. You are measuring how much of you that there is, okay? And when we measure heavier things, we use pounds. But if I were to take something really small, like a pencil, and if I were to put a pencil on a scale that I get on to weigh myself, the pencil is so light, it's not going to affect the scale. So we can't use pounds to weigh pencils or a phone or, a water bottle. Those things are they don't weigh enough to use pounds. So instead we use grams. Okay. And that's what we can use to measure mass. And that's what we're going to be using today. Okay. Mass can also be measured by using the metric unit of a kilogram. Okay, so a kilogram is more than a gram. So let's look at their examples. This paper clip right here weighs 1 gram. Now you can imagine how light a paper clip is. All right, here's a paper clip. We use these all the time. This weighs almost nothing, but it does weigh what we call 1 gram. Now, a box of 1,000 paper clips, if I had 1,000 of these, that would be about 1 kilogram. But you know what? It's still not heavy. Any of you could lift it. But just try and imagine one of these weighs 1 gram and 1,000 of them would weigh 1 kilogram. So if we wanted to measure how much you weighed, are we going to use grams or would we use kilograms? We would use kilograms because that's what you'd use to measure something greater. So that's our lesson today. So let's start with Pedro has a dollar bill. Pedro has a dollar bill in his pocket. Should Pedro measure the mass of the dollar bill in grams or kilograms? So think, do you think the dollar bill weighs closer to this paper clip or does it weigh closer to 1,000 paper clips? If you're thinking paper clip, you're correct. So Pedro should measure the mass of the dollar bill using grams. Okay, because if he used kilograms, that's going to be too heavy and he won't be able to get the actual weight of the dollar bill. Okay, so over here, this is called a pan balance, okay? And if we were in school together doing this lesson, you guys would be working in small groups and using one of these to actually measure and estimate. But since we're not together, I've included another video, and the video is called How to Use a Pan Balance Scale or something. And it's a video of me using the link of how to use one of these. So I want you to press pause in your video right now and go and watch the other video that I made about how to use a pan balance. Okay, so everyone press pause, go watch the video, and then come back and keep going on this video. Okay? All right, I hope everyone just watched that video. It kind of talks about how the bar in the middle, when it's even, then you know that both objects on either side weigh the same amount. And that's how you can measure how much something weighs, like a pencil or a pen. Yeah, we wouldn't use a pan balance to weigh something like a person. So usually lighter objects. Okay, we're going to skip this activity 1, because we don't have, everyone doesn't have a pan balance. So go ahead and turn the page. We are going to talk about this activity. So again, this is an activity that we can't do over the computer like this. What you would have done is you would have placed a crayon. Well, first you would have estimated the mass of a crayon. So you might have said, I think the mass of a crayon is 5 grams. And then you and your partner with your balance scale would put the crayon on one side, and then you would start putting in grams on the other to see if they weigh the same. So instead of doing this activity here, I want you to try and just play around with the online pan balance scale after you've watched that video I recorded. Then you can do some of these on your own. So let's skip down to number 1. So 5 bananas have a mass of about, so we're looking at the scale here. The scale is pretty even. It says think, the pan is balanced, so the objects on both sides have the same mass. Because this bar is balanced, we know that these bananas weigh as much as 1 kilogram. So 5 bananas have this mass of about 1 kilogram. And instead of writing the word kilogram out, we write kg, and that stands for kilogram. Okay, on the next page. Okay, number 2 and 3. Choose the unit you would use to measure the mass. Write gram or kilogram. Okay, so a strawberry. If we wanted to measure the mass of a strawberry, do you think we would use grams or kilograms? If you're thinking gram, you're correct. So looking at this pan balance, we could easily put a strawberry on this scale and then measure it using grams. Could we put a dog on this scale? Would it make sense to put a dog on a pan balance? No. So we would want to use kilograms. Okay. So looking at number 4 and 5, it says, compare the masses of the objects, right? Is less than, is the same as, or is more than. So the mass of the bowling pin, is this bowling pin less than the chess piece? That's a toy piece. Are they the same mass, or is it more? So looking at the pan balance, the bowling pin is closer to the ground, so we know it's heavier. So the mass of the bowling pin is more than the mass of the chess piece. Okay? Looking at number 5, we've got erasers and clips. Look at the pan balance. It looks really even to me. So I think that the best answer here would be the mass of the erasers is the same as the mass of the clips. The mass of the erasers is the same as. Okay? All right, I want you to do these on your own, 6, 7, and 8. And then so press pause, do these on your own, come back and correct. If you made a mistake, you just change your answers. You are deciding, are you going to use grams? Are you going to use grams or kilograms to measure the chair, the sunglasses, and the watermelon? Okay, press pause, do these on your own, come back and correct. All right, let's correct. If you said kilograms for the chair, and that is correct. So we can just write kg, or you can write out the word kilogram. Sunglasses, if you said grams, you are correct. Watermelon, if you said kilogram, that is correct. I'm going to write this one out. Okay, moving on. Okay, I want you to do this on your own, and then we'll correct. Compare the masses of the objects. Right? Is less than, is the same as, or is more than? Okay, go ahead. All right. So the mass of the pen is the same. Is the same as the mass of the paper clips. Just look at the balance. They are almost right. That green little arrow is right in the center telling us that they are equal. Number 10, not so much. The mass of the straws is, you said less than, you are correct. The mass of the straws is less than the mass of the blocks. The blocks are heavier because they're closer to the ground. So we know that the straws weigh less. Okay, turn the page. All right, number 11. Put the sports balls shown at the right in order from the greatest mass to the least mass. So we're going from greatest to least. Let's look at the balls here. A bowling ball, golf ball, table tennis ball, baseball, and tennis. So we're going from the greatest to the least. Well, I bet all of you are thinking that a bowling ball is definitely the heaviest. So that's going to have the greatest mass. So bowling ball would go first. Okay, and we're listing things. We need to put commas in between. Okay, so bowling ball, check. What do you think would go next? A golf ball, table tennis. Another word for that ball is like a ping pong ball. A baseball and a tennis ball. Well, I'm thinking size right now. Since these two are smaller, I don't think those are going to be next. We have baseball and tennis, and I know that baseballs tend to be heavier. So I think that a baseball would be next. Okay. And then it would go tennis ball. And then we've got golf ball and table tennis or ping pong. And if you've ever played ping pong, these balls are really, really light. Actually, we've used those in class before at our Halloween party. Those little black balls that you would throw into the cups, those are super light. So what would be next if we're going from greatest to lightest would be a golf ball. And then the last would be table tennis. Okay. Let's skip down here. It's number 16. Select the objects with a mass greater than 1 kilogram. Okay. Greater, that means heavier, greater than 1 kilogram. Mark all that apply. So, what does it mean when it says mark all that apply? You should know that it means that there's more than one answer. So, do we think that a skateboard is going to be more than 1 kilogram? Yes. Skateboard you would measure with kilograms. A laptop computer? Also yes. Okay, a cell phone? No, it doesn't weigh enough. An egg? No. A desk? Yes. And a pencil? No. Okay, a cell phone and an egg and a desk, or a cell phone, egg, and pencil, you would use grams. Okay, so let's look at your homework. You can do all of the first page. You do not have to write about it if you don't want to. And then you can do everything on the next page. Okay. So again, use that video of how to use a pan balance scale to help you, and then use that website as a tool. You can play around with it, maybe do an activity with your siblings, see if they know about grams and kilograms and how to use a pan balance scale. This is such a fun lesson. I wish we were together to have done it in person in class, but that's just how it is right now. Okay, everyone, take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.